It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Too much work.
Not that much trouble, really.
Too much work.
Says the guy that's got a spreadsheet with 3,000 fantasy teams.
On WGR, Sports Radio 550.
I know you didn't ask, but it's 294, and it's killing me. It's killing me. These lineups, these waivers nights.
Yeah.
It's hours every night. How do I not know better than to know this would become of me by mid-October? Oh, I forgot to take Debo out.
I had some level of aggravation today with my singular fantasy team. One fantasy team that I co-manage with my son Owen. He came home from work, and I came downstairs, and we met in the kitchen. I was making some eggs, and he was eating something. I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. And he said, Paul texted me. We got to move Samuel out of IR because he's not actually on IR.
Right.
And I said, okay.
How dare you?
I didn't even know I did that, but I guess I did. Whatever. Okay. And Owen even said Curtis Samuel. I said, we don't have Curtis Samuel. What the hell are you talking about? Like, Debo. Okay. All right, I'll look at that. So I go in the app, and I see this. All right. He's not on IR, but he got deposited there because I added someone. I don't know what happened.
You moved him to IR.
I moved him to IR because
the app lets you.
The app let me do it, right? So I thought it was okay to do. I didn't realize we have rules in Paul's league.
We do
that are different from the rules governing the app
somehow
for the millions of people who play. Okay, so anyway, we got this rule I didn't know about. So I got to move Debo Samuel. So I moved Debo Samuel. You know what it let me do? It let me put Kyler Murray there.
Wrong.
So I just did that. I just went, okay, well, Debo Samuel's got to get out of there. I'm going to just and. 20 minutes later, now I get another text from Paul, which is now 2 more communications about this fantasy football team than I ever want to have in my life. And they're happening within 20 minutes of one another. You can't have Kyler Murray there either. He's not actually on IR.
Right. Simple.
And I'm like, the app let me, so I just did it. So I had to dump.
So then you moved Josh Allen to IR.
So I got it right. Fine. I want to play by the rules. I didn't realize the app would let me do things that are illegal via our rules, Paul's rules.
That's
life in Paul's league.
That's this league.
Yeah. So anyway, Owen brings it up to me. I'm like, I don't care, right? We're 2-5. What's he going to do? Throw me out of the league? I don't have to go to the stupid draft next year? Fine. I don't care.
Well, that's very negative.
Yeah, I know. I would miss all of you.
Yes.
A little.
I'm sure you would hate to miss it.
Yeah. So anyway, I rectified the situation, but stupid. I like hearing from Paul about the hockey stuff. I just don't. I don't ever want to be like.
You can't put players on IR on ESPN according to Paul's rules that aren't on IR.
Right. You can't just stash them there.
Out is not IR.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a setting on ESPN that would accomplish that. I think Paul is diligent about this, and I'm assuming there isn't, but it's the only league in the last 10 years that I've played on ESPN is this league. So I have no idea. I have no idea what's possible.
Okay.
I just know that you can't. That's what I know. Kevin is next. Hi, Kevin. Kevin.
Yeah.
Sorry, did we lull you to sleep with all this scintillating fantasy conversation?
Just trying not to kill myself in this traffic jam.
I'm sorry to hear that. All right.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
Just trying to figure out. I'm watching 3 or 4 football games a week, and not on everything, but on most of the top 5 quarterbacks. You're looking at the ball. Everyone's talking about throwing the deep ball. No one's throwing a deep ball. They're throwing a 20-yard pass that's going for 70, or a 15-yard pass that someone misses a tackle and it goes at 35. It's not the 70-yard bombs that it seems like the Bills fans are complaining about. It's like I don't either. I mean, you look at Baker Mayfield having a great year. I mean, that guy don't throw the ball more than 20 yards because he doesn't have time to. But again, they're scoring all these points. And it's the same thing with you watching Goff. They're they're hitting receivers that are moving. It seems like our receivers, everything's like curl route or something that's going to stop you from like keep the motion. No like crosses, no slants, nothing that keeps the receiver in motion to get you more than 10 yards at a pop.
Yeah, no, I think you're onto it. That's right. It's not deep. Not to sort of move in on your point, but my perspective listening to, we're the complaint department. I don't think most fans are complaining about anything, but we're the complaint department. If you're going to have a complaint and you listen to us, this is where you come. I don't think we know what we want. The deep ball, Kevin's right. You don't see that around the NFL. He's right. I watch more games than he does, or the same at the most. I watched as many games as he does. He's right. You don't see that. Yesterday we had throw the ball to James Cook 10 times. How deep are those routes? Not at all. Maybe the line of scrimmage.
They're going to be behind the line of scrimmage a lot of it.
I don't think we know what we want. I said before the break, I think we're coming up on a new moment here in discussion about this team, and I mean really new. And that's, are we sure that Allen isn't to blame for anything? Because really, I'm not saying this is wrong, but for the most part in the last 5 years, anything that wasn't great about their offense was someone else's fault. Guys can't get open. Scheme. Even blocking, I guess, maybe came up. Just like, it couldn't be him. And I'm not ready to say anything here is him. That's not the point here. But I think fans are trying to tiptoe around or try to figure out why it's only the 2 games, right? But really why the offense isn't more efficient or more explosive, or why it just flatly isn't better. And it's hard to really say. Is this Keon Coleman's fault? Is it Joe Brady's fault? Is it Sean McDermott not being... I mean, we're all sort of like blindfolded here trying to nail what really the thing is. And to my ears, for the first time ever since Allen got pretty, it's like, are we sure that he knows what to do? Yet one day this week, he wasn't strong enough. Literally, somebody called in to say that. I mean, it's just like, there's something... Because
he made commercials in the offseason.
Instead of lifting.
Yes.
There's something about it
both.
That you can't do both. I mean, couldn't you lift while you're getting makeup? Anyway, like there's something about it that doesn't sit right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe for the first time, some portion of the fan base is willing to question whether he's got a role in that. And, why wouldn't a quarterback have a role in that?
Of course he does. Of course he does. He has to. He's the quarterback.
But what do you want, though? Like, do you want him to run more? Do you want him to throw the ball to receiver X more often? Do you want him to just take deep shots? Frankly, Josh Allen, for all his arm talent, was never really that good in terms of completion rate at the deep ball, however you define it, plus 20 yards or plus 40 yards, whatever. Like, when this all started, you saw him miss John Brown by 5 yards, like, constantly. But that's an eternity ago.
That's a long time ago now. Yeah, right. There was a lot of deep stuff to Diggs and Davis and Emmanuel Sanders worked in there in between that I think sort of quelled that. But that all happened while the whole league was doing that, and the whole league has kind of stopped doing that, and that's part of the caller's point. Look, what you're suggesting is what I have been on about since January of 23. I've got the ball on your side of the field with 1:40 to go, and I need a touchdown to beat you. And you're the team I'm playing is the Chiefs. Like, I know we'd all really like to. I'm sorry, I'm going to need my quarterback to come through there at some point. In order to get where we want this all to go, he's going to have to deliver in that situation, despite whatever flaws we perceive or in reality know the defense has. Because you're not. What do we want? We want to be able to needle the game out against Kansas City? I mean, that'd be great. I'd like to beat them by 3 touchdowns someday. You're probably not. That's not realistic. You're going to have to keep stabbing them in the heart over and over and over and hope it gets light out and they got to go run and hide because they're the Chiefs. They're the champs. So you got a chance to put the dagger in him. You got to put the dagger in him. And when you don't, I have a very hard time then listening to, well, yeah, but they gave up blah, 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 blah per play and this and that. I'm sorry. I got my guy. You got your guy. I've got the ball. Best man wins. And my best man has missed 2 years in a row in the playoffs. However you want to slice it. Like, the last 2 years. Their season has ended with them having the ball and a chance to score and failing.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
3 is Cincinnati.
And so, right. And that was just a disaster across the board.
4 is 13 seconds, which to criticize him is heresy.
Would be ridiculous. Right. But like all of it sort of springs from that. And I say it all the time. We don't want to criticize him. He's great. He is the main reason that any of this is afloat at all. But that doesn't mean that he should be impervious to being criticized for not coming. He didn't come. No, he hasn't come through.
I don't think it should either. But it still seems a little crazy to me. I just wonder if we're like one loss away from if he has a bad day Sunday. I'm not saying he will. If he does, I wonder if that sort of starts. I don't think it's really started. I mean, most people are not calling in to say
no,
this is Allen's fault at all. But there's a little hint of it in the air. There's a little, because I don't think most of us understand why we're here. And I think, honestly, some of this is because we just had the bye week after 2 losses. And what's most recent is negative. And so, this is where we're at. And, other years recently are pretty good examples of how you can look back on this and maybe think that you were crazy for...
Yeah, another game comes along and rescues you, and we didn't have a game this week. So we're just sort of bathing in the stink is what we're doing.
Bathing in the stink. One of my favorite Annie Lennox songs.
B-side to Sweet Dreams.
Bathing in the stink. Sorry. Did you have more?
No, I didn't. But no, I'm sorry. Do you think my premise is ridiculous? What did you say when I got done there? It just seems like it's a lot. It's too much to ask. So that's why no one. I don't say no one. That's why when I've been making that point for more than a year now, going back to January of 23, and it's still the defense. And
I don't think it's ridiculous. But I don't think it's quite fair or quite right, I guess I should say better. It's not unfair. It's not mean-spirited or anything like that. It's just, to me, it's not the bigger point. It's the bigger point to me on how they've lost is 9 yards per play. What was last year even against Kansas City? The numbers on Kansas City's offense are extremely good against the Bills. And last year it happened after a season where they couldn't do anything against anybody. So to me, it's more of that. As you know, I don't think it's unfair. It's just, to me, not the bullseye, right? I think it's on the board. I think it's on the list. It's a point. But to me, it's not the point because, respectfully.
Right.
Because I think why they're losing those games is more about that they cannot get off the field on defense, and if they could, then Allen could be Brady. I mean, if Mahomes is great. If they could get off the field against him, no interceptions in 4 playoff games, 9 yards per play, everything else, even when they're really troubled, then he could have rings.
So I'm asking for one more play, and that's too much. You want them to be able to kneel out the game against Kansas City?
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's realistic.
I think one more play from anybody ever is asking a lot, because how many plays are there, and how many would you give him a plus or a minus, right? In a game. Mm-hmm. And I think the bar is a little high, I guess, relative.
Right. Well. And this brings us all the way around to, am I hanging that on him? Not the way people hang 13 seconds on Sean McDermott or the overall defense's failures on Sean McDermott, but it is organizational. It's part of the problem I have with being the way he was after the draft about receiver. Because that last possession against Kansas City last year, there it is. It's Amari Cooper behind the line of scrimmage getting caught because that's like the last meaningful play he ever played in the NFL. That was your best idea, and then it's just a schmozzle because the blitz and whatever. And I don't have a guy. I don't have a go-to thing, and that does leave more on Allen than I'd like. But I still feel like that's an offensive structural build problem more than it's my defense can't get stops. Because if I've got the ball with a chance to win, I don't know, I'm taking that every time. I go in to play Kansas City, and I have the ball at the end with a chance to beat you, I'm signing up for that ahead of time.
Me too.
Every time. And so, I don't know, then where do I end up? I end up at 9 yards of play and all this other stuff, but I still had the ball and a chance to win. So get me enough stuff so that dude can make one more play, and I'm going to beat you. And I know, make it sound pretty simple.
Yeah, that's it. They've done a lot of different things. Maybe not the exact right thing, but to win that game, I think we're sort of where we're on the same page is what they've tried to do to win that game is mostly on the front seven, on defense. It's not receiver. And that's not a criticism of Allen at all. That's more just like roster decisions and draft picks and those kinds of things. And I think we kind of mostly agree on those judgments that the Bills have made. Like, all right, well, but at the same time, as we say all the time also, they've picked pass catcher with their first pick 2 years in a row before this year, and they're not that, all set yet with either guy.
No, definitely not.
So you get it right, and whatever that means, like yesterday I did the whole thing about different tight end options and different receiver options. It's not easy. And some of that is, I think, their own self-imposed limitations in the passing game because they have 3 tight ends on the field, and they've decided, this is Joe Brady, they've decided that their offense is best being more physical and sort of bully ball than this. But you want that to correlate. You want the scheme to make sense from who the players are. So I think they've mostly done well with that. I don't know. We need another game here soon.
Yeah, we do.
We have the World Series this weekend right up the road. Mike Wilner will change subjects here next, talk about the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. Sal Capaccio joins us at 5. The Sabres are home to Detroit tonight. Pregame at 6:30 here on WGR.